Be done.
Welcome to September 8th, 2016 planning board meeting.
Sorry, Paul.
Should we get the easy stuff out of the way first, like minutes and things like that? And
Minutes have to be done.
Yeah, we're overdoing minutes.
a whole bunch of minutes. What we gotta do is, we gotta check our schedule with the zoning thing, because I got a thing from somebody, this calendar from somebody, I don't remember who it was. We got the wonderful minutes from August 11th.
Yeah, the very
July.
lengthy minutes.
Yes, very long.
No, those were, yeah.
July 28th, July 14th. Not sure about June 23rd.
We still need to do that.
Okay.
7:45. Pretty nice.
Which ones are we doing first?
Why don't you decide?
Let's do August 11th, considering, well,
Okay.
one, I wasn't here, and two, that's the freshest.
Okay.
Wasn't anybody here. Greg, Bruce, and Tom.
And Neil.
Oh, Neil was here? Oh, yeah.
The only thing I got is routes not capitalized on Route 149.
I noticed nothing else.
What was that, John?
I didn't notice anything else other than the route wasn't capitalized on Route 149. Oh,
Oh, no,
No, that's right.
That's right.
Make a motion to approve the August 11th minutes with the
As amended.
minor amendment.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Same?
Yeah, I'll stay. I wasn't here.
I can't vote.
That's true. Opposed? Okay. John didn't know how to vote.
Nope.
Chuck abstained. July 28th, going backwards.
In the, next to last paragraph, the large one, there are three places where it says silk fence rather than silk fence. Should be S-I-L-T, silt. And then on the second page, the last paragraph, I believe it should say voluntary merger rather than motion. That's the last one.
I'm sorry, where are you from?
I'm on page 2,
Mhm.
under voluntary merger,
Mhm.
and then it says, Mr. Blow made a motion to approve the voluntary, it should be merger.
Oh,
And then a couple of small ones on page 3. In the second line, Chairman Francisco said, just cross out key, it is a 5-year program.
Yep.
And then next to the last line, it should say, there are funds, instead of they are funds. First word, next to the last line under miscellaneous, under that same first paragraph.
Under miscellaneous, the first paragraph, last line, should you actually do Southern New Hampshire Planning, is it commission or just leave it at planning? I don't know what their actual title is.
Commission.
Planning Commission.
So should commission be added? Okay.
And then in the last, second paragraph on the miscellaneous, fourth line, lifted the load limit rather than road limit on Peasley Road. load limit.
No, the road limit kind of works.
Yeah. That's all.
You caught more than I did. Anything else? Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve the minutes of July 28th as amended.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain? Opposed? July 14th. I wasn't here. This is the one Chuck had a comment about.
I had a couple of question marks on the first page. I figure out why I put them there now. Frank Golden said there was an issue about vesting. Is that correct?
Yep.
Is that what you said? I'm not sure how it applies.
Yes, there is an issue with vesting.
Okay, so that cross out that question mark. Then, next to the last paragraph. I don't know. I don't know why I put a question mark, yes. Read about that one. Next page, second paragraph, next to the last line. I just inserted the word said, Mr. Close said, so the plans for subdivision could be,
Where are you writing this now?
under this, page 2,
Mhm.
paragraph 2, next to last line. Mr. Close said, I just stuck the word said in there. It says Mr. Close saw the plans for subdivision. You follow me?
We have different paragraphs than you. The top, read the first couple of words of the paragraph at the top of the page.
Yeah, it says page, the paragraph I'm talking about starts with page 10, 5.1A.
Well,
On page 3, Tom.
And mine came out on page 2, I don't know why.
Yeah, mine's on page 3.
July 14th, correct? Is that what you
Alright,
guys
so
are all
I
on?
found what you're saying. Mine's in the middle of page 3.
yeah, middle of page 3.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's paragraph, page 5, page 10, 5.1A,
Yeah, I got it.
right?
Yeah, and then just insert the word said.
Yeah, I got it. Tom must have an older version. He must not have had the more up-to-date version where I added some more stuff besides what Frank wanted me to add.
Oh, okay. If you skip down 2 paragraphs, the one that starts with
These are
page
draft
11B,
minutes or the minutes? Draft minutes.
Third line with modifications within a timely period.
Yep.
And then down 2 more lines, Mr. Meany said usually they don't charge, insert the word charge before accept. And I don't know about the missing stuff, but that's all I had on what I had.
I think what Frank was looking for was on the very last page under definitions. This is for adjournment, is what Frank was looking for.
Yeah, I remember the call, I don't have the minutes in front of me. We talked about the subdivision regs would prevail in the event of of definitions and subdivision regulations. Oh, and zoning.
Zoning.
In zoning.
Zoning,
Yeah,
right.
would prevail, yeah. In the event of a conflict, I guess. Is that what it says?
Yes.
Oh, I do have the 3-page version, 4-page version.
If there's a conflict, definition 1 and zoning takes precedence.
Okay.
Bruce was making 2 points there. Number 1, zoning trumps regulation since it's voter approved.
Right.
And number 2, in this particular case, the zoning was more stringent, so it wouldn't be legal for the subdivision regulations
To
to be
relax the
looser.
zoning.
Right.
Right.
Right, when we were doing it before, when Craig wasn't here, Frank was saying that was missing out of it before, that's why he wanted me to go back and listen to it and add it in.
Boy, such unanimity and agreement.
Well, I got a question for you. If there's a conflict in the definitions, wouldn't a more stringent apply, whether it's zoning or subdivision?
If subdivision is more stringent, then it should apply.
Right.
No,
If,
it seems to me that if zoning is acted on by the voters, the subdivision regulations can't be in conflict with that. So if there's one definition for zoning that the voters have approved, we couldn't make a less stringent
No,
or
but-
more stringent definition. Otherwise, we would be contravening the intent of the voters.
correct. I agree, it couldn't be less stringent, period. That's
It
pretty black and white.
could be more,
That's the question.
don't know.
Don't know either.
So what are we saying? The more stringent might apply?
Doesn't
Right.
that work, Neil,
Might.
if you're talking about state,
Wow,
Between state and
back
town,
where
there's
we were.
in town, that
Yeah.
the town can be more stringent or not?
I don't know if conflict
Yes.
in more
In a lot of
stringent,
areas anyway, I don't know about all areas.
Not
Yeah, I
necessarily
agree.
a
In a lot of
conflict.
areas, yes.
I mean, I don't know if that applies here, but.
So you might be right. The subdivision regulations could be more stringent.
Mhm.
In any event, we're working on the minutes and what we
Yes.
said rather than.
That was just a question.
Yeah,
true.
no, I think that's fine.
Any more discussion? Do I hear a motion?
Take motion to approve the minutes of July 14th as amended.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, discussion. Just because certain statements were made doesn't necessarily mean that, no, we haven't changed anything. So the fact that maybe the more stringent will apply could still
Oh, yeah.
hold true, even though this discussion was had.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, we didn't change anything, we just discussed it.
thank you.
The idea of the minutes is to have an accurate description of the discussion.
Right.
Not necessarily to say that the discussion is correct.
I'm fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? June 23rd.
Under Roman numeral 1, call to order, capital action first name.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Venues.
Where do you see that?
Where Chairman Francisco appointed John a voting member.
Oh,
I know, it took me a minute to see it in too, I was like, where is it in there?
I could be pointing at John, or at a John.
I think that'd be J-O-N.
Oh, okay. I don't think so. That's what kind of John we're talking about.
No, I have it. I just put your, appointed, I used your whole name rather than just John. I think
Yeah,
it should be the whole name.
That's
Okay.
true, yes.
Page 1, the next to the last paragraph, the one that says Chairman Francisco asked, should be for public comment, just cross out the word as. And mine came through saying May 12th at the top.
yeah, that was from my template.
A lot of them do that sometimes.
I corrected it on my end.
And on page 3, we have Clacker Street.
Parker?
something
Are a
like
lot of noise complaints coming from that street or something?
that. That's probably need that ordinance.
Water's running all over the place.
I've heard about chickens being a problem, didn't know about
Yeah,
ducks.
Quaker Street is probably, where's Susan Russell.
First page, first paragraph under 525 South Stark Highway, first line. I'm gonna pull a John and say, Art Siciliano said they removed parking lot 4 and instead of is, are asking, since they are asking. Is that okay, Jim?
That works.
Okay. That's all I had. I missed
See
Quacker
those for a
Street.
second, please?
I don't know, I thought it was kind of funny.
That was Tina's way of testing us to see if we actually read these.
Yes.
things.
You would think I'd drive by it in time, right ahead of Philip.
Anything else? Is that your motion?
Move to approve the minutes of June 23rd as amended.
I'll second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Abstain.
I'm staying, yeah, I wasn't here.
Can you make copies for us?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, please. 6, count you.
You're having trouble counting today.
I am.
Try 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I already got 1. 6. I need 6 copies. I was supposed to get the original back,
Got it.
but I am having trouble counting today. I just almost shorted my company $1,000 on a bill today.
Second, what do you pay?
Hmm?
What do you pay?
No, I caught myself when she was
Oh.
writing the check, actually. So it was right in time.
I take it neither of the chiefs are going to attend this evening?
Did everybody get the email from?
From Benjamin?
Yeah, Benji, yes.
Yeah.
I did read it. I did read it. I read that.
Nobody else attending. Chip did say that police and fire said they like the road the way it is.
Say again?
Police and fire like the road width the way it is.
Well, that's actually stated here somewhere, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do we have now, just this flat 24 feet? I mean, not that all roads are flat, but,
I
Across the
thought,
board.
I
Yeah.
thought someplace in the cluster regulations said you reduce it to 20, but I couldn't find it the other day when I was looking for it.
That would probably be with board approval, right?
I thought it was already there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Thank you, Lee.
February.
February. Gotta do it backwards.
All right.
This is for the zoning articles.
Oh, okay.
I wrote in red, which it didn't come out, you guys read, PB, where we have scheduled meetings.
Is this what we're getting?
Yes. So the 7th of February is the last day to deliver the official document to town clerk, so obviously we cannot meet after the 7th to discuss amend zoning petitions, which pushes it back into January. 26th and 12th are our 2 meetings in January. I guess the first question, one question would be, does everybody want to meet Thursday the 22nd before Christmas?
Wait, January or you're now in December?
I'm in December, yes, sorry.
Well, you went back.
I bounced way up to December already.
All right.
That's gonna reflect everything, it's gonna change everything in January if we move that meeting.
I'm not sure I'll be here that day.
I don't think I have any problem with it.
I don't really have a problem with it, I just wanna make sure.
I don't have a problem with December 22nd.
Okay.
Now we're going back to January?
Yes. So let's assume the 26th is our last hearing, public hearing,
Which 26th?
January
or what?
26th.
Okay.
We typically have 3 meetings, that's why I'm going through this.
3 meetings in January.
3 meetings on zoning amendments.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So we can do the last one on the 26th.
Okay.
We can just do the January 26th, December 22nd, and November 17th, and be simple about it.
Why,
Is there a, for planning board, is there a specific period of time you have to post a meeting, like 10 days before?
Yes.
Yeah, so we can't.
We can't do back to-
10 days?
That's what we have to do for the selectmen, so I assumed it was the same. So we can't post it on the 19th, we have to post it on the 16th on January.
Yes.
Now, what does it mean on January the 5th? I'm reading that and I can't, doesn't totally make sense to me.
The 5th is the last day you can put the posting in the paper for the first public hearing.
If a second hearing is anticipated, oh, if it's anticipated.
If the second hearing is anticipated.
And that would be for, if you're gonna have the meeting on the 16th, right? 10 days after.
Right. If we do the 26th of January, Chip can publish it on the 13th, say. If we do the 22nd of December, Chip can publish it on the 9th, or send it in the 9th. In the same way with the 17th. We do November 17th.
What's going on the 17th? Oh,
November 17th. When we say we have 3 meetings, November 17th, December 22nd, January 26th.
you're saying those are all gonna, could be hearings.
Yes,
Will you have anything to hear by November 17th, I wonder? Have to,
Yes.
huh?
we will.
Okay. So the second meeting,
Nothing else we've got to talk about, accessory apartments
And we have to modify our sign ordinance
in the sign.
slightly.
Yes. For brightness.
Right.
Does that make sense to everybody?
Does to me.
Cool.
So which of the next actions are you
There's no big things to worry about, I don't think.
I don't think we have any huge things to worry about, but
Do you usually put on the website those dates, the first and last, for petition articles, so that people are clear on that? Maybe we can put that up for us.
Yeah, we need to put what the deadlines are for petition articles, in case somebody wants to post some zoning to piece of land or something.
Yeah, I mean,
well, I don't know when they have to sit. Yes, I guess it would be.
Usually it's first day to accept petition zoning, so November 14th through December 6th, right?
Yes.
The timeframe?
that's for the planning board?
No, that's for private petitions.
Yeah, I understand, but
for any zoning petitions?
Zoning, right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Want to rezone their land and water sump for something?
So, on the subdivision regulations. And this I have not looked at, I'll be completely honest. Didn't Neil hand out a chart last, or one time?
Yeah, we've got a couple of charts.
We've had lots of charts. But I think before you start looking at the charts, to see what other towns do, I think you need to have a sense that we either want to do something to make a change or we don't. We've gotten a letter from Benji, and you mentioned some information that Chip conveyed to you from the fire chief and the police chief. And I
Yes.
think we need to look at that and make a basic decision as to whether or not we want to make any change. If we want to make a change, then it makes sense to look at various options. But if the consensus of the board is no, we want 24-foot roads, then there's no point in looking at this other stuff.
Has everybody read Benji's email?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't have it with me, but I read it. It sounded from his email like he was assuming it was just an automatic change from 22 feet to 19 feet for any subdivision road.
And I believe he's also incorrect about 22-foot road. Unless I'm reading the wrong thing, on
Well-
page 20, it says 24 feet.
Right.
If somebody could, because I've missed a few meetings regarding this, refresh me as to why we're discussing changing this to begin with.
As I ride through town, I look at various subdivisions, as we all do. Subdivisions that are relatively small, 5, 10 lots. And there's one in particular that, where there's a 24-foot wide roadway serving 5 houses. And it looks so disproportionately large
Okay.
for a subdivision. Now, because we have shoulders, I think that a narrower roadway at the planning board's discretion in certain cases would make sense, rather than to say that in all cases you have to have 24 feet. It might be that for a large subdivision, 24 feet makes a lot of sense. It might be that for a smaller subdivision, a smaller number makes sense.
So is your concern purely aesthetic?
Well, it costs more to rebuild a 24-foot wide road than it does to rebuild a 20-foot wide road, obviously. Less pavement. less
If you
everything.
have a small subdivision and, let's say you're gonna have an 18-foot road versus a 24-foot road, presumably there's a saving there.
Yes.
Which could go to the builder, but it could also go to the lot owner,
Possibly, yeah.
depending on circumstances.
Ignoring road maintenance.
I think it's primarily aesthetic, but
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Take, for example, the subdivision that's never come to be down, the Orchard.
Yep.
Across from Orchard Path. Well, when that was approved, it's basically a straight road up to a dead end. I don't know if perfectly straight or not, but there are a lot of lots up in there. And what most of these towns do is they go by traffic count. And if it's a through road, then there's a word for that, I forgot what it was, any kind of a through.
Arterial.
Arterial, then that's an automatic, that's a 24-foot road.
Okay.
And then the rest goes on the daily traffic count, and that's what it shows you here.
Okay.
And so the fewer cars on the road, fewer trips on a given day, estimated fewer, the narrow the road up to a point. The narrowest that I saw in any of these, I think, was 18 feet. And I don't know what town it was. But that's what we're
Okay.
discussing, that concept of the aesthetics of a small subdivision where the road doesn't go
The road
anywhere.
looks more proportional to the size.
Yeah.
So Benji brought up in his email, road maintenance and snow removal. Taking the maintenance side out of it, from a snow removal standpoint, say we drop it down to 18 feet, just for argument's sake. One of the concerns Benji had was the size of his equipment, the size of the plow along with the wing. Do we have a fleet that can safely plow that without hindering traffic?
I'm not following you.
Are our trucks too big to handle an 18-foot road where it won't be, where an oncoming vehicle won't be able to safely pass?
But because there are shoulders,
Think of that storm we had 2 years ago where we had massive snowbanks where they can't push it back that much further.
Well, you're gonna have.
but that's an argument for a 30-foot road.
No, that's an argument for a narrow road, then you push back more snow. You have less snow to push.
Well,
Make a
another
2-foot wide
point-
road, you don't have much snow to push.
Another point in Benji's email was that if they have to go off the shoulder, they tend to damage the road more frequently and break down the edge of the pavement. That's, I'm just putting.
High repairs. Yeah.
Now, just for comparison, then, I checked with him when they were paving the road up at Mount William Pond and asked him what that width was. He said that's 20 feet there, and they were replacing it as is. So just as you picture,
Mhm.
what is 20 versus 24.
And there's a fair number of houses down here. I mean, there's not a lot, but there's a fair number.
Where?
Mount William Pond are on the backside. With the private road, but they all use the road that he just rebuilt.
I bet there's more than 25.
Yeah, probably close to that, maybe a few,
Yeah.
a little more, yeah.
You go the whole way around the pond, up to where that one guy's driveway was, we just looked at last summer,
Yeah.
or spring, whatever it was.
Well, I don't want to second guess because he knows his business.
There's not a lot of room there either. I mean, he was right bank to bank down there.
Yeah, but we're kind of talking about two different things because when you plug in that traffic count and you look at surrounding towns, it's not something unusual.
Moreover, there are a lot of roads in town that are 18 feet, and they get plowed, and I don't see some of the damage that he's talking about occurring. So,
You see, for example, I mean, I know you're concerned with your road because of the, historic district. But if that were something that was being built now as a new road, we'd probably want it 24 feet because it does go all the way through.
it's not a collector road, it's not an arterial road, but it does go all the way through.
Yeah, but, and I'm not suggesting we change, I'm just
No.
saying that, if that were part of a new development, it'd be a case where we want to have the full 24.
I guess what I'm arguing is that there are cases where, for aesthetics and because it does increase the cost to somebody and makes it, requires the builder to get a bigger loan or whatever.
How about we do something like this? I got an idea. Is there any chance we could do that as like a conditional use kind of thing? And if somebody wants to come in and say, and we say, okay, you can do an 18-foot road with some conditions, underground services, a couple other things.
I don't know that you need to, I agree with your concept, Bruce, but I don't know that
Because
you
when
need
you
to
get a road
do it with, as a conditional permit, use
I don't
permit.
think you can.
I know, you might be able
Can or
to,
we
I
can't?
don't think you can.
Okay.
but the point is, if the planning board has the discretion to say, in this case 18 feet, and in this case 24 feet, and in this case 20 feet, we have the ability to put conditions on that.
Which I think we probably should.
But that goes.
I think all utilities should be underground, but that's
But
one
I
of
think,
the issues, but yes.
I think that would be something to put in there though, if we, think, because you're gonna limit, you're gonna allow trees to be closer together by having a narrow, and utilities could become a problem as things grow up.
But without putting that in the ordinance, we would have the ability to do that, because the person is coming in and saying, you have the ability to allow a narrower road than, let's say, 24 feet, and I'd like to take advantage of that, and the board would then say, to use your example, we would be pleased to do that, but you have to bury the utilities, because, and Bruce gives his argument.
Okay.
And then that becomes a condition that we put on the plan. And if in fact there's no agreement, the person puts in the 24-foot road. Because we would believe that the 20-foot road would not be acceptable unless it had the utilities, or whatever other conditions there were. It gives the planning board more flexibility, and that should be exercised to facilitate appropriate development. Anytime government puts in regulations that raise the cost of something, or increases the amount of time that it takes to do things, I think that's not a good thing. I think that we should try to avoid that, and hence giving more flexibility here to the developer seems to me to be a desirable thing.
Just, according to this email, I think Reggie's looking at a flip side of that, and that is the narrower road could lead to a shorter life for the pavement because of the shoulders breaking down.
Yeah, but I think on a narrow road, you're gonna have a lot less traffic than what he's thinking about.
Right,
We're talking
right. I'm just-
very low volume roads.
I'm just quoting that, and I do understand that too.
And then his concerns with the repair of the grader blades and things like that, which add up quickly.
Yeah.
But if
I
that were the
didn't
case-
understand that, because if you have just using 20-foot wide road, you gotta, hopefully, we're talking to a 3-foot wide shoulder, cut 13 feet from the center line to the edge of the shoulder.
I don't know what size our grader blade is.
He says
think it's-
11.
Is it 11? I don't have the. email
11
in front
foot
of me.
plows, 11-foot wings,
11-foot
which hang off the side of the truck.
About 5 feet.
5 feet.
But he doesn't say what the grader blade is for like a dirt road or anything like that. so-
No.
It's probably 12 feet.
Yeah.
Angled, probably 11, when they get it angled for plowing.
Well, when they're grading dirt roads, I mean, something has to happen. You can't get by them.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You either-
No, if they got a
Oh,
12-foot
awful.
wide on a
Yeah.
dirt road, you got a 60-foot wide dirt road, you're not gonna buy them, that's right.
Other towns with comparable equipment, obviously, I assume would have the same problems, and yet, in a number of cases, they allow much narrower roads. So it's not that we're paving, pardon the pun,
Yep.
paving new ground here.
I think the narrow roads is a decent idea. I want to caution it in the fact that roads do get extended sometimes and become.
I don't think we wanna narrow up the right of way, we just, the travel
Well,
surface.
I just don't want to have somebody build a 18-foot wide road with a 3-foot shoulder, and all of a sudden it gets extended, and all of a sudden it's going to be a collector road. And somebody has to come back down and repave
But wouldn't
strips on
we,
each side.
but wouldn't we at that point say that if you're going to go ahead with this subdivision that creates a collector road, turns a collector road into an arterial road, you have to bear the cost of expanding the collector road to the requirements for an arterial road?
I think the road should be built to the arterial standards. right away if we think there's a possibility of it being extended.
Yes, I agree with that. I mean, the only time you want to do the narrow roads, I think, is if there's definitely not going anywhere,
Yes,
and that's it.
you got a short little road going to a cul-de-sac,
Right,
your apple orchard, Corliss Drive.
yeah. No chance of them going anywhere. Everything's
Right.
developed all around it.
Well, you know, most evenings I walk a couple of my dogs down East Road.
Oh, these roads are bad
Is
comparison,
it?
Chuck.
Yeah?
Very busy through road.
Well, what I'm telling you is
I know that's a narrow
I have to
road.
get off the road every time
Yeah.
a car gets by.
I know, that's a narrow
You know,
road.
I'm even worried about the cars coming on the other side of the road.
Yeah, I know.
So narrow roads lend themselves, and we see a lot of people walking. They have their dogs, they're jogging, their bikes, man, it just goes on and on. So this doesn't lend itself to that activity. I could see maybe, you know, the 3 or 4 or 5 lot
That's what we're talking about. I mean,
subdivision.
we're talking about, roads less than 1,000 feet essentially or something.
Yeah, I mean, and even then, the people that are walking are out of luck, but there'd be less traffic. So,
Your neighbor's less likely to run you over too. Well, most of the
Maybe.
time.
Not Chuck's neighbors.
as long as they don't hit my dog, I'm all right.
Yeah.
In school, even, I mean, they have a track team or something. I don't know where they
They
go.
go- I know, they go down
All
the
come out of
road,
Peace
go down-
Road.
yeah.
Holy moly.
I know.
Craig, would it make sense if a couple of us got together and put forward a proposal for the group to consider?
Well, let me ask you, Neil, well, you did ask Greg, before he answers it would be nice to get the blessing of, maybe some of it, because if we do this, and the police department, the fire department, and the, road department are all opposed, we're kind of,
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't be a good thing.
yeah, so.
But I think that would be a good idea to have, we could go around and around on this, but if we came in with a proposal that, like this one, excuse me for mentioning, you know, local 50 to 250 design speed width, a little chart like that.
Yep.
To put before us for consideration, and then put that before the police, fire, and highway for consideration, rather than just a general concept. That we could work off in that and adjust it rather than just kind of going around and around.
Yeah. I mean, I understand Benji's point with the shoulders being soft in the spring, but on a well-built road, those shoulders aren't that soft.
Yeah, I don't think it's such a problem on
I
a
mean,
road built
Properly.
properly, right?
I mean,
Even on the ones that are-
it should be crushed gravel the whole way out to the edge of the ditch.
Right.
Well, would that mean, would it make sense to, even if you went to an 18-foot road, to maybe increase the width of the shoulder by a foot or something? Or is that just as costly?
No,
No.
It does take long for those, like, even on the wider roads. Sugar Hill Road was done within the last 5 years,
Yeah.
the time that Tim was here. If you're going along there, I bike along there, and,
Oh, that was you I was hit by the other day.
pardon me?
That was you, I almost hit with my boat going around to one corner the other day. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, it was you that was driving through it.
I was eating ice cream home and driving my knee, it was kinda tough.
Talking on the phone, all that.
But anyways, the
And on the
side-
phone, probably.
the sides down there, as you get near the Hopkinton town line, are kind of scalloping, they're breaking down. And
That was after they reclaimed it, went down and
Yeah.
completely rebuilt the road.
You know, Hodgson's the same way, they didn't rebuilt that, what, 4 years ago, maybe, something like that?
yeah.
Not that long ago. I don't have a problem with appointing, or people, you want me to make an official subcommittee, Mr. Neal?
No, I'm just, I get together with Bruce and see what we come up with. Or somebody else wants to hop aboard, fine.
no, I'm just
I don't have a problem with that, I would caution you on,
overextended.
keeping the shoulder width a little wide
You can have
and
that.
not making too many categories.
No, I agree.
Personally, I think 3 categories is plenty. I mean,
How do we get the traffic counts?
10 trips a house,
I'm sorry?
10 trips a house,
Okay.
9 point something actually, but
10 trips means 5,
5 out, 5 in,
Seems right.
per house, yeah. That supposedly includes UPS and mailbox.
Per
mail.
structure or per residence? What if it's a duplex?
Okay, per unit.
Okay.
Can you excuse me for a few minutes?
Are you two gonna look at the gym, I'll wait for Bruce to get back since you volunteered him, sort of.
Glutton for punishment.
He is.
the chart that Tom gave us from Deering, this one?
Yes.
One on the first page, right. You know, forgetting about the other things that don't relate to this, because we already have standards, unless these standards would have to be changed. That's the kind of thing that would provide flexibility. And this is a minimum. Okay, so let's assume that under the minimum standards, it's 20 feet, because the average daily trips are 250 or 400, okay? Nothing that says that because 20 feet is the
That's
minimum, we
25
can't
hours.
up that to 22 or 24 or
Oh, really?
26, or whatever is appropriate, because there are other factors
Yep.
that are not specified here. That's the concept of minimum.
I think it'd be great if we let Mr. Benji talk.
I was going to as soon as he signs his name. Oh, of course, your email says you're sorry you couldn't make it tonight.
Well, we had company, but I was watching, I
You
wanted to
kicked him out.
explain myself.
Sorry, watching TV. Couldn't stand it.
I just want to answer any questions that you, my name is Benjamin Knapp, I'm the road agent. I live
Should
on
we wait
108
for-
Perkins Pond Road.
Should we wait for our vice chair to return?
Yeah, let's wait for Bruce before we get into that.
How you doing?
Benji kicked his company out of his house and came over to see us.
Why I kicked
You must be
anybody out?
watching
I-
TV.
He was our one
I
watcher.
just left. I was sitting on the footstool watching the TV anyway, so I guess I wasn't a very good host. Sorry, I'm over
Next
there,
started
you haven't
getting red,
showered
face
yet.
started getting red, he got madder and madder and just decided to run.
No, I just wanted to explain myself. If anyone had any questions on the email, I was trying to not be rude. I just don't think that it benefits the town in any way to narrow up our new roads that we're going to own forever in the future.
Even if the road only services 5 or 6 lots.
Use the same vehicles to plow them. All the subdivisions that we have had problems with in the past have been due to springtime snowstorms and things, and the trucks being too close to the edge, and so the narrower you make the road, the more likely you're gonna be with a heavy vehicle too close to the edge of the road. And you will get spring snowstorms. Didn't get any this year, but we will get some sometime.
How do you deal with existing roads that are narrow?
Such as,
Well,
I mean,
my
all the
road,
subdivisions we
Mount
have
Dearborn,
are at least 20 feet wide.
but there are many non-subdivision roads.
Yeah.
Some of them are collector roads, some of them are arterial roads that are much narrower. Thorndike isn't 24 feet,
No, it's 20 or 22 feet of pavement.
right?
And we couldn't fit any wider. I believe most subdivisions, we have 50-foot right-of-way, is that right?
We're not, but the issue isn't the right-of-way. It's
Well, it
50
is,
50
because
feet.
Thorndike and Hodgen would have been 24 feet, but we didn't have right-of-way enough to fit a wide road in there. when we rebuilt that. That's 2 rods, 33 feet. Down through there,
Really?
yes. I would love to put a 24-foot road down through there. So,
But you still have to maintain it at whatever it is.
we do, and we put a lot of really good gravel under the base, and we deal with what we got, I guess.
So I understand your point to some degree, but I mean, what do you think of just, right now the regulation is 24 feet.
Okay, I was mistaken on the 22 then.
No, that's okay. I mean, I know you think 18 is too narrow.
Mm-hmm,
I'll agree with you on that one.
mm-hmm.
But let's go into, it's 20 feet too narrow.
It's pushing it.
For 4 or 5 houses.
It's pushing, I don't think 22 is out of the question. I think 20's pushing it.
Okay, because we're thinking like 3 different categories based on traffic count on the road, which is based on residences on the roads.
Sure, I understand that. I don't know what difference it makes when it comes to maintaining and rebuilding in the future, you know?
And one thing that I threw out that I think everybody would have a problem with is if, to allow someone to do that, they would be putting all the utilities on the ground.
I don't think that's a bad idea at all, especially if it's a dead-end road.
Especially with,
If it's a dead-end road, I think they should be under.
So it gets all that stuff out
I'd
of
like to
it.
see mailbox depots too, since I'm standing
And
up.
well, that was gonna be another one of my things, on the narrowest road, maybe 20 feet, because you're only talking 4 or 5 houses up there, maybe we'll make them do a mailbox depot.
Yep,
So you're not plowing around 5 mailboxes going up a little tiny road.
sure, yep.
You only got 4 or 5 houses, it can't be a very long walk to your
Right,
mailbox that
right.
way either.
The problem in the end is that the highway department's responsible for everything. We hit the mailboxes, the road gets torn apart, we're responsible in the end. I'm the one that's gotta come to you folks and ask for the money for a road that got torn
You're
up.
not gonna get any money out of us. We don't have any.
As taxpayers.
Oh, okay. Oh, as
I
taxpayers,
am.
okay.
And also,
I just
And-
had a funny thought, if you had a mailbox depot, you could take them all out at once.
that's right. That's right.
Save time.
And I see some subdivisions that have that parking lot for them, they just never got put in. That's neither here nor there on this
But I
conversation.
mean,
Why I don't have a mailbox.
but I mean, that's kind of the thing, it's gonna be a give and take on the developer's part too. They're gonna have to get it that way, they're gonna have to do a couple of things,
Yeah,
which help you in maintaining, because now you're eliminating stuff out of your way.
yeah.
Yeah,
'cause that's another thing, having a narrow road, you go in and out of the mailboxes, and they're all white mailboxes with granite posts, which is the sum of around $400 if you hit the whole works.
Yep.
And, I'd go for 22 feet, but I certainly kind of balk against the 19 and 20 feet, I guess. These developers buy these pieces to build and resell, and I think that they would understand that this is a road I have to put in and figure that in their pricing. And it was explained to me that the thought was maybe go back to the consumer that's buying the house. I kind of doubt that.
well, it's, if we put those caveats where they gotta put the stuff in, they're not gonna be saving money in the end.
No.
But they're gonna end up with something that may look a little better.
Yeah. I unfortunately not that prepared as far as the widths of our newest subdivisions. I thought they were 22, but I guess I'm wrong with that. But
No, they're all.
I don't know. Me driving by and I build roads, I can't tell 22 and 24 foot
No.
difference when I'm going 40 miles an hour down River Road. So I don't know if the aesthetics is that, and they clear every tree there is. So I mean, I think the aesthetics thing's kind of
Well, that's where the
whatever
underground-
your shoulders and your lawns and your mailboxes and whatever your front doors look like. I think that's where your aesthetics come in. Not so much if you got 2 feet plus or minus on the pavement. Anyway, I just wanted to put my 2 cents on it. And explain anything. Hopefully I wasn't rude. I got it sprung on me at 11 o'clock. I was told a month ago this meeting was coming, so I got reminded today at 11 o'clock, so.
Benji, just so you know, Deering starts off at a minimum of 18 feet for the least traveled roads.
Yep.
Same with Hopkinton, and Ware is at 24. So I assume that in Hopkinton and Deering, they've got similar trucks and similar issues and so forth. And I don't know, maybe the road agents there are regretting the fact that this is the case, or maybe they say, you know, it really hasn't worked out poorly. Do you have any sense?
Well, the last
From-
subdivision they tried in Deering has, the road got put in so long ago that the trees are growing up in the middle of the road. So I don't know.
That definitely would interfere with the plan.
Yeah, right. So it didn't get put in. They had to log that subdivision twice, is how long that,
Really?
yes.
Oh,
So,
Lopkin Reservoir?
yeah, that's the one. So I don't know, nothing was approved when I was in Deering, or nothing come across my plate. One thing I found, with these plows that we have on the narrow roads, is that we do crown our cutting edges out a lot more. The guys that have these routes, such as Hodge and Thorndike, their cutting edges get crowned out just like that, because they gotta set over on the crown road. Where's the middle of the carbines out? And $1,200 for a set of cutting edges. Versus somebody that has a river road that's 24 feet wide. So I just don't see the point in putting in narrow roads in the future. It's not gonna save the town taxpayers any money, I guess. It might save the developer money. We're gonna buy more cutting edges, we're gonna, be fixing more shoulders in the future, 10 years down the road. It's not gonna save all of us that pay taxes anything. So that was my question as to,
I think it is, we were talking about earlier, it is an aesthetic issue. Like, you take, for example, going up 149, you go past, I forgot the name of the road, but there's a short road just beyond
Corliss?
Corliss.
yeah,
I mean, you can see from one end of it to another,
yeah.
and I think that's where we're looking at something like that, because there's not gonna be any extension to that road.
No,
And does it have to be as wide as Route 149?
no, probably does.
But I think it is now. It looks,
You can see from one end to the other because they cleared the entire lot, every tree. Not that I'm against cutting trees either.
I'm just saying that's just an example. If it's
Yeah.
a short span, it's got maybe 5 horses.
Yeah, not very many.
4 new ones on the old one.
Hmm?
4 new ones on the old one. Original house.
At least in the foreseeable future, I don't think Ware's gonna have any large subdivisions where you're gonna be building 20 homes. Personally, I don't think so. Of course, we don't wanna have the regulations in place and then have somebody come in with one, you can't change the regulations, but
Well, I think 20 house subdivision is gonna be 24 or 24-foot road anyway. We're right on the cusp of, I mean,
What's the state road?
Well,
The
they-
typical was like 114, 77, 49.
Boy, that 114 must be
maybe you got like a
12
15-foot
foot
travel.
lanes
lane
plus
probably, huh?
10. Yeah, are they 15 foot maybe? They must be 50 feet of pavement on the 114. Of course, it all depends, Up over by Dimitri's has breakdown lines big enough to drive a tractor trailer in and come down in the center of town. There aren't none.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the ones, like 149 is probably a better example, because that doesn't have the.
I'd have to guess they're 25 to 30 feet of
Well,
pavement.
Concord Stage doesn't have any breakdown lanes either.
No,
That's falling apart.
it is.
When you're plowing a 20-foot road, can a oncoming vehicle safely navigate around you?
As long as everything's frozen and you can get your wing over on the side of the road or your truck over on the side of the road, yes.
Okay.
It's just those once in every 5-year storms that the truck has to get over and they sink.
Yep.
And every subdivision off the mountain, now I understand they weren't built with the same regulations that they are today. Every subdivision off Mountain Road, our trucks has had a problem one year or another. Last year they had one, I understand, and all the other ones, they had problems when I worked there before, so. Because it was spring and they were trying to plow snow off the road and it was like a bowl full of jelly.
Yeah.
But the roads are built better now too. Got them engineered. I think they had a sale on green clay in the 80s, and that's what all subdivisions did. And I understand that's not the case now, but just at the end of the day, I'm the one responsible asking for the money to fix it. And if it's due to, vehicles being over too far, it just reflects on me. I have to ask for that money as to why, you know. And subdivisions are hard roads to get money for, because there's all these roads like River Road and Mountain Road that serve a lot more people that
Yep.
they're not getting paved either, and they should be. Well, you got subdivisions that you almost can't ride a saddle horse over, so you gotta fix them once in a while too. And it'd be nice to put a subdivision in for many, many years and just never have to look at it again, so we can work on these arterial roads.
So basically, you're saying 20 feet, that is,
That's, you wouldn't wanna see anything lower than that.
and 20 feet is pushing it, as you
Yeah.
said.
I go for 22 on the shorter, you know, on the less amount of houses.
Benji brought up a good point. At 40 miles an hour, when you're passing by something, can you tell the difference between 2 feet?
40 mile, you're not doing 40 miles an hour on a road that's 750 feet long.
No, as you're passing by though. Is 2 feet really gonna make that much of a difference aesthetically?
If you make them put the power under, then they don't have to clear as wide.
Have them put power under now, can't we?
Yeah,
Well,
that's a tough,
We can.
I think that ought to be looked at, and again, I don't know every rule in the book right at the moment, but at least on dead end roads, because if a tree comes down and people are trapped in. It's a different subject. I think anything on power would be great to be forced upon dead end roads. Anyhow, I was watching, so I thought I'd put my two
no,
cents.
thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
We-
Thank you very
we-
much.
We like your input, so.
Well, I'm here to work with everyone, obviously. I wasn't here to offend.
Turn the
anyone.
TV off when you go home.
That's what I get told. I was supposed to take a shower an hour ago.
Hit the mute button.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Well, we know where he stands. You two wanna get together and try something, or you wanna?
No,
Kill it.
I think we'll try something, but I think we should run it by Benji after
Oh, I
we've
do,
done
I
it.
certainly do.
Just so he knows, keep him in the loop.
Oh, yes.
how much, just curious, how much extra does it cost to go from 22 to 24 feet?
I assume it's percentage, if you're talking
It's
about.
it's
blacktop.
essentially
Yeah.
per square foot, I mean, it's a percentage.
Yeah.
You know, it's a, pretty much a lineal percentage, there's
So
no,
we'll say it's a 1,000-foot long road. Yeah,
so
cost-
22 is, you're talking 10% price, between 22 and 20 is 10%, right?
Yep,
24 is 20%, so 20% less.
I have no idea how much.
Yeah, but it really would only be the
what it would
paving
cost
that
you
would
to build
make.
the road to
Well-
begin with.
Tell you what, Benji said here the other day and said, it took him $100,000 to shim and top coat a road in town per mile.
Per mile?
Okay.
So-
Shim and top coat?
Yep,
We can only, with the amount of money we have in the budget, we only do about 2 miles of rebuilding.
Yeah.
So that's a 30-year cycle?
it's more than
Yeah.
that.
35-year
And we've got
cycle?
100 and some odd miles of roads.
Paved?
I'm not sure how many of those are paved, but.
I thought it was 60-something paved or
Yeah,
something.
that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
So
say-
it's a long cycle. That's why we were discussing on CIP whether that we should look at at some point in time, not this year, some type of a bond issue to jumpstart the process, because there's so many roads that are.
But a bond issue won't solve the problem.
No,
No.
not entirely, no.
No.
The only thing we
If-
can do is lock the doors and not let anybody in.
No,
Well-
if in fact we have 70 miles, and we're doing 2 miles a year, that's 35 years, but a road only lasts for, make up your mind, 20 years before it has to be
Before we gotta
redone.
do something to it.
Less
Right.
than that.
So, the only thing that we could do realistically
Get the money to
Forgetting
reduce that
about the
cycle over
bonding.
20 years.
is get on a 20-year cycle, which means that we have to pave 4 miles of road each year.
And if I remember right, there is no budget, or there's no line item for road repair, correct?
So there is,
Well,
it's
there is we put a little in it, it's not a lot, but there is a. line
Okay,
item.
because I remember there wasn't a couple of years ago.
we get state money too, but it has to go towards paving, it's their summer block grant money.
Only for state roads, or does that work for all
No,
roads?
No,
it's
it's-
every mile, it's based on the mile.
Town roads only.
Okay.
12% of the gas tax goes back to the municipalities under this program. So
Well-
his gas tax doesn't really go up very much because you bought a, well, not you,
Yeah.
but somebody bought a
But if we
very
want to increase
fuel-efficient
it, the
car.
state's not gonna increase theirs, this is a flat figure, it's not a
Yeah, right.
percentage. So what do we wanna do, buy it all on us?
But that's something that the town really needs to consider and determine whether or not we would basically double the highway road repair budget.
I mean, because you take River Road's in really rough shape.
Right.
Was it 8 miles long?
Close, yeah.
And that would take 4 years to do.
And some of that is beyond shim and top coat. Some of it's grind and rebuild and,
Yeah. And that's what he's talking about when he's talking about
Yeah, look at
2
the
miles
traffic
a
it
year
gets.
is the road that can be
Look at the
taken
traffic
down,
it gets, yeah.
ground up, start over. You can do a shim and overlay at $100,000 a mile, isn't that right?
Yep.
Is it? But,
Grind is more.
oh yeah,
but we're
just about double.
starting by providing a new base.
You know, in spite of all this, Ware's roads are somewhat superior, substantially in some cases, to some of our surrounding towns, so.
To some of our state roads. It's like we were just talking about,
Yeah.
trying to ride a bicycle on Route 77 headed from North Ware toward Concord. It's
Yeah, Concord stage is
Well,
horrible.
the edge is breaking down 3 feet into the travel lane, right?
Yeah,
But didn't they just do some shimming?
they did, and I don't know what kind of a device they use, but it gives you these parallel grooves that, and then there's a lot they didn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in spurts, all up 77.
Yeah.
it's like they were trying to get rid of excess material.
There's low-profile tires that are on so many cars now, and if you go off onto the shoulder where there's a sharp drop-off on the pavement, you can lose your rim like that.
Really?
Yeah, they're not rebuilding the shoulders very
There's only that much rubber to the rim.
You know, coming home.
Hey, we're off track here, huh?
Yeah, we are getting.
Perfectly sober, you understand. But I went off the edge of just off the edge of the pavement, a couple of, ruined 2 rims. Flattened the tire on one, and then I found that the other one was bent.
Suggestion, don't drive sober anymore.
Ride your bicycle.
Yeah. You try going off one of those on a bicycle.
Oh, yeah. But that's always been true.
Yeah.
Is there some way that a road can be built so that instead of just having the pavement stop and the shoulder begin, they sort of edge the pavement down?
It would just brick right up. They can't thin it out,
You can't do,
no.
Structurally,
No, but you
structurally
gotta
fall
have-
apart.
They have to build better shoulders so that it supports the pavement.
Right.
I think that's what's happening, for example, not only to off subject, but I mentioned Sugar Hill Road where that it's only been there
Mhm.
about 5 years and you're seeing a lot of damage to the edges already. There's gotta be something with the shoulder there that is not,
Well, like Benji said, Hodgson and Thorndike, he only has 33 feet to put a 22-foot wide road in. And put a ditch in and a shoulder, it doesn't leave you any room, there's hardly any shoulder, and the same thing's happening on both those roads. I drive them all the time. The very edge is starting to crack up.
if,
It's only been 4 or 5
if that
years.
happens, can that be repaired? Is there some sort of an edging machine that would put in a more material?
we had a discussion at CIP Wednesday morning. I think that was yesterday, but it seems like a long time ago.
Yeah.
I've been in this room so many times since then. But what was Benji calling it, a chip and something?
Yeah, he wants the chip seal.
Chip seal.
With a,
Tar and chip,
yeah,
What's-
what a
what is that?
wonderful idea. They do it in Western Pennsylvania where I grew up all the time.
yeah, and they do, and he wants to try a section of road where they do some Hopkinton or something, he said?
I forgot where he said, but basically it's like the old-fashioned way of paving roads where you pour down the chips and then seal them with a liquid asphalt.
And on a roller and get them
And on
flat.
a roller, sand.
No, what I was talking about was completely backwards, spray down the asphalt
That's
and
what
then put chips
that's
on
what
and
you
roll.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
probably.
But you don't do it on dirt road, you do it on
No.
an existing tar
Right,
road
right.
that's still in good shape.
Decent shape, yes.
Right.
Well, you're just putting the tar down, you're sealing all the existing cracks, and you're putting a little bit of wearing course on top of it, basically.
Yeah.
People hate it because for the next 2 days, you're gonna have chips flying up in your tires and tar all over your car. But, I mean,
But that's.
where I grew up, everybody, the state, towns, all the towns did it.
Step,
Yeah.
maybe a year or two after.
It's
the-
good undercoat.
It is.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good in the chrome wheels.
No.
So, you and Neil are gonna get together, come up with a brilliant
Yeah.
idea.
Yes.
Everybody loves.
If you think of any brilliant way to slow people down,
Speed bumps.
besides speed bumps,
Oh, I like that.
because if you look at Deering quickly, they got a 20-mile-per-hour design speed for your 18-mile-an-hour, 18-foot wide road. Now, I agree, you're probably talking a 1,000-foot long road, or less.
Right. I think maybe we'll put that stipulation in there, that the maximum length of a road like that is gonna be.
It's not so much the length, it's the number of vehicles on it, but yeah, it's also the length, both. But in Deering's case, the center line of curve rate is 200 or 150 feet. That's sharp. I know when we designed roads, the next jump up is 250, or 250, that's still sharp.
Mhm.
Because Bedford allows 225. And if you see the 225 corners, everybody's driving on the shoulders going out the corners.
Yeah, NASCAR,
Right, which is what you don't want.
right. Because all of a sudden,
But
there's,
anyway.
you get a big drop there.
Something to think about. Anything else? We actually have 4 items on the agenda, wouldn't it, next week, next month, next meeting?
2 weeks.
When are you going to address the testing?
I got an email into Mr. Drescher to help me with that.
Yeah, okay. Because I had a few things I wanted to point out.
And
at the
are you gonna
appropriate
be
time.
talking to Mr. Drescher about substantial and complete?
Yes, all at the same time. Yeah, vesting, substantially complete,
Kinda
yes.
all related.
That's all one topic, yes. Help with fine tune our language. Anything else?
No, sir.
You got-
There is a,
Move
just
to adjourn.
on a report, there is a committee meeting monthly, revising our hazard mitigation plan, which is really interesting stuff.
What's a hazard?
I bet it is, yeah.
What's a hazard mitigation plan?
It's a plan to mitigate hazards.
I sort of got that, Tom. What kind of hazards?
It's
Hazardous
like
ones.
being prepared by looking ahead and
You get a
what's
road that
happening
quacks up.
before as far as flooding, the frequency of severe storms.
Is this for roads?
No,
The town in
it
general.
relates for towns. The committee has representatives from the different departments and,
Is this an EPA requirement?
it's
Part of
through
that's-
Southern New Hampshire planning. It probably is.
Yeah, but they're
And then
doing,
once we have that plan, we have to pay for it.
Well, we're
we have
already paying for it through, our dues to Southern New Hampshire.
No.
No, I think
we
you're
already-
talking
we-
something
We
else.
already have the
I think.
plan in place, Neil, we just need to update it.
Yeah, it's
You're
not-
talking
This-
about that EPA email from
Yes.
Chip, yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
saw
something,
that.
That's different, okay.
This is,
There was a culvert thing.
Yes, that's a drainage.
Hmm.
That's a big money.
What was the thing with the sign article changing the brightness?
It's allowing,
defining
sign- you can't not allow signs because the sign is keeping up with technology.
Is this regarding that gas station?
Yes.
Okay.
We can't say, no LED lights.
No,
What's the problem?
So we can't say no electronic signs
court
either?
or- the court has said,
Correct.
that can't possibly be true when we go to all electronic signs, because there are cities, Concord has a moratorium on electronic signs. Not lighted, but the LED changing, whether,
what you can do, you can stipulate that even though it's electronic, it still has to be a static sign. So someone can't put a changeable message on it. If they wanna put a message on there saying the name of their business, they can't put up there that they have what's on sale today.
Even with that court ruling that you can't,
Which court ruling is this? Something new?
this one came out,
Yeah,
within the last year regarding, you can't regulate the content on the sign.
But you
That's
can, but you
different.
can call it, you can tell them it has to be a static sign, that they cannot change the content.
Okay.
Was this dealing with that church over in Northampton? North.
No, that was a screw up in the.
No, this was a New
part
York,
of their,
this was a New York ruling.
And is it a national ruling that's based on the United States Constitution?
Without going back, I can't say either way.
Because New York and New Hampshire have different constitutions,
no,
different...
I know I've seen all kind of emails about that sign ruling coming through. Everybody's changing their sign ordinances.
Yeah, because this went to
It's not
the
just,
Supreme Court.
everybody's doing it. Yeah.
Could you send me whatever, or something that explains that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got something on that a while ago.
It was when we were discussing the sign ordinance, but that was a while ago.
so we're out the window with aesthetics all around.
You can prevent signs like what's down at the triangle. But you can't, if someone wanted to have a sign that had that insignia on it, and they wanted to do it on a piece of aluminum and paint it like that, or make it out of LED lights, you can't say no. As long as it's the same. That would be, if, yeah, they had a sign on LED, but they couldn't change it, it's a static sign.
You can control the brightness, you can't, it has to
But
be static.
if you look
Right.
at the revised sign ordinance, it's more specific to the zoning areas. In other words, you can have something different in the commercial or industrial zone than you can in a rural ag or
Right.
There was
residential.
sign size and stuff like that.
So, yeah, I think that,
And internally lit versus external.
I think that's what we
Yeah.
gotta keep our eyes on as far as this goes, because, you know, if you've got an accountant living across the street from you in a residential area, should that person be able to put up an LED sign that's internally lighted, and even though the message doesn't change, perhaps it flashes,
Oh, you-
compared to, compared to
But if
something
it flashes, it's not
outside.
static. Now you're changing it from off to on, off to on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not,
Right.
but I think you can, to control brightness, I think you have to specify a
That's-
number of lumens so many feet from the sign that they can't exceed.
Are we gonna get Chip the tool to measure that, if he's gonna enforce it?
If he's got one that's questionable, he may have to borrow something from somebody to figure it out.
But why don't we first get some information, if there is any, from Southern New Hampshire or the state or somebody, if this is to be, if the New York decision is in some way going to affect us.
Apparently it does.
Then
Yeah, it does.
the municipal association or somebody probably has sent something out to planning boards. I didn't get anything, but maybe the chairman did.
Actually, I might have the email on my phone.
No, I did,
Sure.
actually, that's something.
We got one that was Chip quoting Drescher's letter that said you can't legislate against
Technology.
technology, changes in technology, and it all related to the pricing at the gas station in this case. I don't know, I didn't interpret it from that one letter as going beyond that, but just that we would get in trouble if we tried to say you can't put up those letters because of a Supreme Court decision that said otherwise.
In New York,
I'm not sure.
I think it was federal. It was
I don't remember where it
National
was.
Supreme Court.
and
I thought it
Then
was.
it's gotta be
actually, I
based on
thought
the
it was
US
New
Const-
Hampshire. I thought it was New Hampshire, actually.
I think it's-
I can't believe it was federal.
There's,
They don't have enough time to deal with LED signs.
there's,
I just realized I saw something
Well, now that we've solved that,
are you ready for a motion, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, he's ready now. He's not paying attention.
Is it New York versus, or whatever it was?
Guilford,
This is Reed, after Reed versus Town, okay.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking of.
yes,
But that's a New Hampshire case.
yes.
Okay. That
Yes, I'm
makes-
ready for a motion.
Second?
Preserve correct, does what?
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 I thought Frank had the privilege